let's go into the shop and work on a watering station for the chickens. There's two different types here. You can see these that the chickens will just peck at from, from the bottom of the bucket. Or they'll be able to peck at from the side of the bucket. And I'll let you know what we see is going to be better over the next couple weeks here. You're going to need a 5-gallon bucket or a 3-gallon bucket like this one. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lay out these nipples right here 1 inch from the bottom. So depending on how many you got, I'm going to take 5 of these right here and then just kind of equally space out 5 around. So I measured 1 inch down all around, and we're going to use a 11/32 drill for those threads right there. There, I'm going to pre-drill this with a smaller hole first. Take it off impact, maybe that would help. And 5. So I pre-drilled it. And again, this is 11/32 drill. Right in for those threads, and let's drill those out. And let's test this out first before we get too far. Oh yeah, those thread in really nice. So you get about halfway right there, and it starts to get a little bit tight, which is good. So we're just going to keep threading that one in. Want this flat part here to be on the bottom. So as we drill these, we got a little bit of a lip on there. So in the drill, so we're just taking this by hand and just getting that little lip off. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get this washer on there prior to putting and threading these nipples on there. So make sure you get the silicone seal tied up against there. For to come out. You want the chickens to have some water, so we tried the water on the bottom nipples in the past. So we're just going to review what's better is coming out the sides with this style, or this is the alternative ones right here. So you can see that there's two different types. So let's go ahead and install these. So let's put this right over the top, make sure that we have these seals, these O-rings in place. Get it all the way up there tight. Make sure you got a nice clean surface there. And then we're just gonna thread these in by hand. Again, they start getting tight about halfway, and then you can just keep spinning it, and you'll be able to see, kind of get a side profile of it here. As you see that silicone ring starting to get tight. I can feel it squishing together there. So again, we want to rotate this to the bottom. So you just keep going around, and it's going to squish that O-ring nice and tight. And there we go. We got one nipple all complete, so we're going to do that for all 5 on here. You can see in the bottom of the bucket, we could have gone a little bit lower, but that's okay. Okay, there we have it. We screwed in all 5 of the chicken watering nipples here, and you can see from, I'll just show you around. I'll just spin this around so you can see them. And as you look inside, let's go and fill this up. Let's fill this baby up. So here's the coop over here this year. Again, we got the auto door right up here, the chicken guard working. So in the morning, we got it set for 7:30. They get to sleep in until 7:30 and then they can come out and play. So down the ramp they come, but we're gonna go check out on the watering station. Again, we're gonna see if we have to do a little repair work. And how these work is you flick these and water will drip down inside of here. So right over here, this has been working for the last, I don't know, several weeks. So to test these, you can just, you know, give these a tap here, flick them up. So this one's coming out fine. You can see the drips coming out of these. Your finger will get good and wet here. But there's some of these that just don't work at all. So we're gonna put in some new ones, or they might be, I don't know, they might be filled up with something. So we'll do a little investigating on those. So here's another 3.5 gallon bucket that we're using for our water station. And we're using these bottom drip nipples here. So again, when you push up on these, you can see the water levels up here. It's kind of a clear bucket, so you can see the nipple inside of there. And how that works is, again, when you press it up and down, should have water dripping all the way out to the bottom. But we're not getting a lot out of this one. So the chickens are gonna struggle getting anything to drink on that. If we go over here to the next one, it's just not at a really fast pace. I think they're almost gonna like going into a bucket if they struggle getting anything out of here. But let's take a look inside. You know, if we get a lot of dirt, sawdust, chicken poo, anything that's gonna clog these up. So let's just do a little maintenance and clean these first. Okay, so we emptied this out. You see inside there?
Still some chicken poo.
Still some chicken poo. There's also some gravel and dust and dirt, so all that's gonna get lodged right down inside those little holes. So all this thing, oh yeah, I just got wet by the sprinkler. Just now it needs some maintenance. And you can smell in there, you just, you know, don't want anybody ripe smelling water either. All right, let's go clean this up.
Is this thing waterproof?
So.
It's supposed to be?
You can shut it off again.
Taking a good garden hose and washing them out. Make sure to really get the little pegs good, and maybe like put the hose on the pegs to get it good and washed out.
Yeah. Dirt slime all the way up the top here. So what happens is, can you see in there? They just get stuck and they don't move. So you just want to free them up. Either they get gravel or dirt down in them. So we're just going to inspect them this way.
So what you're doing right now is just taking the nozzles out of the bucket by unscrewing the red things.
Yeah, these are the bottom nipples.
Not to be confused with the side nipples.
Yeah, and it feels like there's gravel in it as you slide it back and forth. So we could either try to blow these out with the air hose, or else they're cheap enough just to replace. So what we might do is probably just replace these. All you have to do is unthread them out. Make sure you got that little washer O-ring seal, and screw that back in there again. Because even though this moves back and forth, there's stuff caught down in that hole, that water hole. Dirt, soot, gravel, wood shavings, poo, anything will get down in there and shut the water off. See how this one's working? See this one? There's just no movement. It's just solid, stuck. So we're just gonna thread in a new one right here. We got a little deburring tool. We're just gonna take that by hand. Oops. I'm just gonna take that. If you can see, it should be the one on the bottom. That's got nice movement. For the other three, we'll just replace those as well. So I tap these here. So I'm tapping this.
You can see the bottom one wiggle a little bit right there.
The bottom one's moving, but this top one
doesn't even move an inch.
The top two, they're just full of junk, so we're just gonna replace them. Nipple 5-pack. And squish that rubber O-ring on there. Take a little wrench on there and give them a little extra. Now, should go fill this up.
Yeah, yes! I knew it!
So, after we replace these, can you see how fast the water's coming out now? And you do that in each one. So, chickens will get plenty of water now. You can just hold her to the side and it just pours out there. And then, make sure you got a top on here so that no wind is blowing dirt in here and they jump up on here. So make sure you got a nice clean seal on here so no dirt can get in there.
Ooh.